Welcome everybody to the first installment of a new series called Your System Does What? I am Jason Goldberg, Director of Engineering with iTech Support, and today we're going to talk about using a SIP client on the iPhone 3G to make calls through your company's network on a Cisco Unified Communications Manager platform. So some of today's players will be the iPhone 3G running the 2.21 version of software, as well as our Cisco Unified Communications Manager 6.0 system, and we have the Polycom conference phone here that we're going to be using for some test calling a little bit later. So basically, a brief overview is that now with CallManager 6 and CallManager 7, we're able to use SIP endpoints natively. We're actually able to do that as a version 5, but it really works well in 6 and above, so that we can actually register SIP clients to our CallManager and use them as internal phones, meaning using the lines that are at the company, as well as being able to conduct internal calls directly from the SIP endpoint. So now we're able to do that directly from the iPhone 3G. So the iPhone 3G now has an application, and it's called SIPphone. It's down here in the bottom right. It's going to be a little hard to see. But this program is made by a company called VNET. Their website is www.vnet-corp.com. And they make this app that is available in the App Store. It's $6.99, but it's well worth it if this is something that you think you could use a lot, especially if you travel a bunch, or if you're in a large workspace and you move around a lot. So when you open up the program, you'll see a pretty familiar interface here. It's basically a keypad, and you'll see the one major difference is you have two options at the bottom. You have cellular and SIP. So what that's going to allow you to do is that you can really use your iPhone as a dual mode phone. Directly from this interface, we can make calls through your cellular network using your AT&T minutes, or through the SIP network not using your minutes and instead using it over Wi-Fi on your company's network. Now, right now, AT&T does not allow any VoIP calling over 3G, so you will have to be connected to a Wi-Fi network in order to use this feature. So what we're going to do here, just to test, is that since we're actually on the Wi-Fi and we are registered, the iPhone is registered with our Cisco Unified Communications Manager 6.0 system, I'm able to dial an extension. The extension here of this Cisco phone is 231. I'm going to go ahead and dial 231 and then press the SIP button. So you see we have an active call coming in. And I will mute this so we don't get any feedback. But now we have an active call from my SIP endpoint using my internal extension of 250 going to this internal phone of 231. So now the flip side of that, we'll go ahead and hang up this call, is that we're also able to dial the other direction. So if you're walking around and you have the Cisco iPhone with this SIP client on it, you're able to, from this phone, an internal company phone, dial my extension, which is 250, and the call is coming in, and I can answer it like a regular phone. It shows here that it's coming in from extension 231. I answer that call. Again, I'll place it on mute so we don't get any feedback. And now we have an active call, not using any of our AT&T minutes, but instead using the internal company's wireless network. So one really cool thing about this as well is that if you make any calls from here to an outside number, to the PSTN, you'll be using your company's actual PSTN connection. So here we have a PRI. If I make any calls from this client using SIP, I'm now using the company's PRI, and thus I'm showing my caller ID in the office. This is a great way to really leverage your single number reach so that you don't have to give out your cell phone number. You can give out a single number reach number, and people can dial that single number reach number. It will ring at your desk and on your cell phone, and then when you need to call somebody back, you can call them back from the SIP client, and it'll again show your internal direct inward dial number or your company's main number and not your cell phone number. So it serves a lot of purposes, again, especially for people that are on the road or people that don't want to give out their cell phone numbers. Maybe they share a personal cell phone and they use it for business as well. So another thing we're going to look at here is making those external calls. So at the bottom of the screen here, we're going to go ahead and go into contacts. Now, one really great thing about this application is that it allows you to prefix in a number that you would need for making outbound calls. So what do I mean by that? Our current system here at iTech requires us to dial an 8 to get an outside line. Well, if I try to dial a number here like iTech Support from my direct phone book, which I know is a little hard to read, the number shows as 407-265-2000, our main number here in Maitland. So if I were to try and dial that through the SIP client, it would fail because it requires an 8. Now luckily, there is a settings tab down here, which again I know is a little hard to read, this last button over here, that allows you to put in the prefix. So I've already programmed in the prefix of 8, so now that if I press just the 407-265-2000,
If you know your
and put this on speakerphone, it pre-pens the 8 for me and dials out. Now, if I were dialing somebody directly, it would actually show my internal DID of 407-215-1250 as opposed to showing my personal cell phone number. So this is a really good way, like I said, to leverage single number reach and to leverage mobility. So what's the catch? Well, there's no real catch. You do have to have the Cisco Unified Communications Manager 5X or above. The current version that's being shipped now is version 7. So if you have version 3 or version 4, those are end of sale, end of life, and this is a great time to upgrade, and we can definitely help you out with that. Also, of course, you'll need a Wi-Fi connection, and the great thing about this is that you can actually use this external. You don't have to be inside the company's network to use it. I've used this plenty of times from my house, where I actually VPN in to our iTech network from my iPhone with the built-in Cisco VPN client, and then launch this SIP client. I'm able to make phone calls just as, like I was showing you here today. So we can set all that up for you. The secure Cisco wireless and perimeter security on the ASA for VPN connections, and of course the voice over IP and IP telephony using the Cisco Unified Communications Manager to really leverage this SIP technology and mobility. So for more information, you can give us a call at 407-265-2000. Visit our website, www.i-techsupport.com, or email me directly, jason@i-techsupport.com.